In this video, we're going to learn how to use the Mark 82 Snake Eyes on the F-4 Phantom from Virpil. Alright guys, welcome aboard the F-4 Phantom from Virpil for DCS World, and today we're going to take a look at the Snake Eyes bombs, which are a high drag bomb that we're typically going to use at high speeds and low levels. So we'll take a look here at the armament control panel, just talk real briefly about the things that we need to do to use this bomb. The first and probably most important is how we arm the bomb. We've got multiple selections here. We're going to make sure that we're on tail or nose to tail. We've got to have tail so that it actually will deploy the drag chutes and operate the way that we want it to. Next, of course, we're going to have to activate the positions that we have the bombs located on. In this mode, we're going to use direct. We'll talk about the mills here momentarily. And of course, we need to select bombs. For our intervals, once again, this is a second's delay between the drop of individual bombs. So this is 1 second all the way down to 5/20ths of a second. And if we hit this interval switch times 10, it's going to multiply that number by 10. For our quantity, we've got set pairs, salvo, continuous, and then iterations of bombs to drop. Of course, we'll have to hit the master arm before we can execute any drops. All right, last thing we're going to talk about, since we are in direct mode, we are going to use our reticle, and we're going to select air to ground. And what I have found is I'm going to set for 140 mils, and this works pretty well provided that I'm on speed and on altitude. So the speeds and altitudes that I'm going to be looking for is a radar altimeter of 500 feet and our speed up to about 500 knots. So the arrow is going to be pointing off in this direction. When you get to 500 knots, you'll see it kind of open up in a little window there. So we're going to be level flight, 500 feet, 500 knots, and mils set to 140. And as long as we correct for winds, we should be pretty good. Now, we are going to go out. I've got a smoke pot set up on the vicinity of the target so we can see the effects of winds. Because if we just roll in like this with no winds, yeah, we're going to hit the target, no big deal. So we're going to go in with some crosswind and then some tailwind and show how that affects our bombs. All right, guys, so we're inbound to target. We're going to do a dry run, but first we're going to go ahead and set all of our stations other than selecting bombs, which will prevent us from actually dropping. Master arm is armed, and we're going to set our reticle to 140 mils. And we're going to shoot for 500 knots, 500 feet over the target. Again, we're going to go in dry, and we're going to try to see what the winds are telling us on this pass. All right, so as we're rolling in, it looks like our reticle is lined up, but we'll show back on a playback here that we're actually just sort of crabbing a little bit off to the left. You can see our ground track as we pass over the target. So we're going to continue out dry and then roll back in, come at it at a different angle, and go in live. Alright, so verifying that we are armed this time, we're set in bombs mode, and we're going to continue into the target. This time we're going to have a left crosswind. We're going to drop 2 bombs, and we're just going to favor the reticle off to the left. Get lined up, verify that we're at 500 feet, 500 knots. So you can see that our ground track and our reticle is just left of target. Release. All right, so this one, not only are we going to come in at a slightly different angle, we'll have a little bit of a tailwind, but we're also going to drop a whole stick of bombs. So we're going to set to continuous, and that way, as long as I hold down the trigger, we're going to be dropping every bomb we have on board as long as we've activated that station. All right, so once again, understanding the winds are actually pushing us, I'm going to release early before my pipper gets over the target, and because I'm dropping so many, I've got a lot of play there. So I'm going to go ahead and just click right as I get before the target, maintain my track, and those look like good hits as well. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it, and a big thank you to all the YouTube and Patreon members who support the channel. Thank you so much. And for those who subscribe to the channel here, a big thanks as well. Lastly, of course, thank you to Heatblur for giving me early access to the F4 Phantom, giving me an opportunity to teach you guys just a little bit about what I've learned in the past few days of flying it. Hope you guys are enjoying it, and we'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.